diagnosed sociopath explains life without empathy, guilt, or remorse.
So no, I've never wanted to kill cats. And I'm going to be specific there. Not cats. There are things I've done in my childhood, but never to cats.
Like killing other animals? What do you mean? Like other animal cruelty, but so dogs? Well, I'm assuming it just means any animal that isn't a cat. How do you get diagnosed as a sociopath? Do you just go to a psychiatrist and say that you're suspecting that you have, you know, sociopathic tendencies? Because you don't just go to a doctor and they say that. I'm assuming you have to, like, go at a younger age or maybe early adulthood when you're, like, suspected of it.
What is your personal definition of a sociopath? Well, to me, a sociopath is someone who has been diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder and has specific antisocial behaviors. I would say a sociopath is someone who does not have empathy, who does not have remorse, and doesn't have guilt. I personally don't think that there's...
Is that something that's genetic or developmental? Because I can't imagine a full lack of empathy. Like being unable to feel remorse or bad for somebody in a situation that's not your own. It's like a high level, it's like a higher level of narcissism, because narcissists could still feel bad for people or feel remorse. But it's like the step up.
Guilt, because it's just a useless emotion.
And the clinical diagnosis.
Guilt is a useless emotion.
Anxiety for guilt, because it's just a useless emotion.
And the clinical diagnosis,
Yeah.
Does that differ from that?
Sociopathy is not a medical term. So when people talk about it, it's usually informal. I know I use it informally. It doesn't have it is not in the DSM. You need to be diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder, which is characterized by a lack of empathy, guilt, and remorse. A lot of people claim to be sociopaths, and they think, oh, I've done bad things before. Am I a sociopath? And the answer is no. Most of you still have empathy, guilt, and remorse, and what people like to call it conscience. We don't have that.
But is that a lack of emotions as a whole? Like, how do you not have empathy but still feel sadness, grief, and happiness? To me, it feels like an all or nothing thing, no? I'm not disagreeing with this. Like, I know this is like we're talking about like something that actually exists in today's world. I'm saying I'm confused personally on the idea that like you could feel like sadness or, you know, happiness, but not feel regret, remorse, guilt.
Are you born a sociopath or do you become one?
I just asked that. That's the fucking... Dude, I love that. That was a question. I was hoping that would be answered.
I'm in the firm belief that anyone with factor 1 traits, which is the callousness, the grandiosity, the glibness, the charm, that's all born. You're born with that. And that's where the distinction comes in between sociopathy and psychopathy. So psychopathy is based on the Hare checklist, which is the work of a clinical psychologist who is Canadian. And so there's a lot of traits that can be ascribed to factor 1 versus factor 2. So factor 1 is when you don't commit like crimes out of passion. You don't react out of heat, out of anger in the moment. You react out of coldness and a long calculated strategy. And that's what I believe I have. The thing is
That's like fucking terrifying. How do you have friendships if everything's like a cold, calculated response? Like, how do you have a social life? I know it's like sociopaths have antisocial behavior, but they put on a fake social, you know, outwardness, like an extroverted persona.
I'm not impulsive and reckless. I am when it comes to adventures. I am not when it comes to revenge and plots. I can spend a year, 2 years working on a plot to get back at somebody.
What? 2 years? 2 years getting back at somebody? Oh my God, what is this, war? Being like holding a grudge for that long? Holy shit. I don't think that's like coldness. That's like a deep-rooted like anger is how I would see that. I know it is more cold because like the level of calculatedness is like very long term. Like you're not going to have that emotion for such a long time. So it's seen as like a more neutral, just like numbness. I hate meal planning. Every time I go to the grocery store, I buy one of the same 4 things because it's what I know how to make, and I'm too scared to branch out because I don't know what I should get. I don't know what I should make. With HelloFresh, they make that process so much easier, not only by having the produce and meal kits delivered directly to your door, but also in conveniently packed meal kit prep plans that you're able to make in 30 minutes or less. All the ingredients are delivered fresh to your door with a simple, easy-to-use instruction packet on how to make the dish itself. I mean, look at the options. With endless new stuff every week, you're bound to find something that you're ready to enjoy. So check out HelloFresh and use my code JOBYFM at HelloFresh.com to get 10 free meals and free shipping. Free meals are applied as discount on the first box. New or returning subscribers only. Varies by plan. Sign up today. Use my code JOBYFM at HelloFresh.com or click the link in the description. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. And let's get back into it.
Do not get into fistfights. I do not get aggressive. I do not do things that will cost me my freedom, my life, and my social circle.
But then what the fuck are you doing for 2 years to get back at somebody? Like plotting the death of their grandmother? Like, I don't understand. Like, what in a long-term scale is revenge in a 2-year span? Like filter, like slowly inputting like higher doses of like mercury into their water or something? Like make them do something, sabotage? No, but I feel like it'd be like, you're like slowly implementing like mercury into their water so eventually they die. Like, I don't understand.
How can you spot a sociopath? The funny thing is, people think sociopaths are going to be scary in person, that they're, there's a distinction between them and other people. The truth is, there really isn't. What I notice in a fellow sociopath is the eyes. The eyes are pretty soulless. If you see me get angry, you will see my eyes become soulless. But I personally had to teach myself how to blink more often because I was freaking people out. And so
what? She had to tell herself to manually blink more?
That's something that you will notice. The ability to hold eye contact for as long as possible. Usually because we don't have the same strength.
Ooh, I be darting away, dude. I can't keep eye contact that long in conversation. I'm not gonna like not look at you ever. But like, okay, say we're having a conversation. Hey, how are you doing? Yeah, so the other day I was just, I was on the street and I passed this one guy and he didn't really like look at me in the way that I thought he would. And so it's like you kind of like dab back and forth. You look away, you look at your surroundings, you look back. You look away, you look at your surroundings, you look back. When they're talking, I look directly at them as a sign of respect. But when I'm talking, I won't look into your eyes the whole time. Because when somebody's talking to you, you look at them to show that you're paying attention. That's a level of respect, is like, if I'm talking, you look at me, because when you're looking at me, you're saying I'm obviously paying attention to what you're saying. But if I'm talking, I'm not going to stare you down. You have autism. I've never been tested. I'm fairly certain I don't have autism. I am unable to look at people in a conversation for extended periods of time. Like, I would not stare at you.
People were also very calm in tough situations, and we're calm when we even get like almost hit by a car, like I was the other day. My heart rate did not go up at all. So when you notice someone who is exceptionally calm, exceptionally good in stress, it's highly likely that they could be a sociopath.
Well, that's what John Kiriakou, the CIA whistleblower, was saying. He said the people they want for the CIA have sociopathic tendencies.
Do you have friends? I'm a sociopath. I'm not like a serial killer, okay? Of course I am.
All right, well, we started this video by saying you kill animals that aren't cats, which is very vague.
I have friends. Like, do you think I'm like AI or something? I have so many friends. I've had long-term friends. I've had people who I find to be disposable. And so
yeah, but I feel like she never has a true friend. The way that she's explaining it is like a sociopath would never be able to have that deep-rooted connection with somebody. Like in the Aristotle sense of like utility friends, and then, she has friends that have purposeful, relationships with her where it's like, hey, we're coworkers. I need you to be my friend so we can help each other with this. And then she has friends that she enjoys hanging out with, but it's like, the way that she's describing herself emotionally makes it seem like she could never have like a deep understanding connection-wise with another person.
I've had people who I find to be disposable, and so I'll get rid of them when they stop having a use. But my real friend.
Okay. See, like that, see, like that's crazy. Like when the way that she's describing disposable friends, the average person would just say they're my acquaintance. Like I have people that are acquaintances where we are friends due to circumstance, but I would not be like, you're a disposable friend when you're no longer of use to me. I would get rid of you. I feel like that's a very cold take.
Who are within the core, they get the best friendship imaginable. Like, I will do anything for these people, but
Yeah, Loki, having her on your side would be awesome.
where you'll lose me is consistency. And so whoever falls off based on that, I understand. I'd be annoyed too.
But it's not a deep-rooted friendship. She's never going to be, like, I understand she's saying, like, she'll be there for you, but it's like, if you're a sociopath, you don't have a sense of empathy, you don't have a sense of care, and you're unable to do that. When your friend goes, hey, I need help moving in, all my other friends are busy, my mom just died, and I have to move out because I can't afford rent at this place, no part of you is going to be like, okay, I need to be there for this person. You would just, maybe from a calculated sense, you're like, this is valuable to me to help this person in this scenario. But that's more of like a personal gain sense than like, I actually just want to help this person because I feel bad for them, you know?
What do you look for in a friend?
I like someone who is going to be loyal, who will not generally start fights or create a hierarchy within the friendship circle. I don't like hierarchies in those social settings. I need someone who is willing to be there for me at 2 a.m. like I'm there for them at 2 a.m.
See, but that doesn't seem like sociopathy. Like, if she's there for somebody in their times of need, she is showing a true caring for somebody outside of her own individual interests.
What percentage of the population has ASPD? I believe it's approximately 1 to 4% of the population has ASPD. And
What is ASPD? Antisocial personality disorder, chronic mental health condition characterized by long-term pattern of manipulating, exploiting, or violating the rights of others without remorse. So statistically, let's say it's 2%. 222 people in this chat show forms of sociopathic tendencies.
And I would say it's probably more than that because women are very underrepresented, and that's probably because our acts are not usually violent because we are small. We don't have the same advantages of men in that domain.
Is there an even gender split?
No, absolutely not. Men are far more likely to be sociopathic. Men are far more likely to be psychopathic. Men are far more likely to be violent, to be aggressive, and to have the physical size in order to assert that dominance, whereas women just don't have that. Best way of dealing with a sociopath. Okay, so this depends on whether you are dealing with a bad sociopath who you want to get rid of versus someone you want to keep. So if you want to get rid of a sociopath, what you have to do is become exceptionally boring. We cannot tolerate.
What? So you have somebody that like likes you and you don't like them back and they're like a sociopath and they won't leave you alone, so you just become boring and then they'll leave.
We honestly cannot tolerate boredom. So the minute you start being less interesting to us, we'll lose. Like, we'll drop you. You could become very needy, very clingy, very dull, ugly, gain some weight. That sort of stuff will make us lose interest in you.
All right, well, I'm not going to get fat for the sole purpose of somebody losing interest in me. Like, what the fuck? If somebody, I feel like there's got to be better ways. Yeah, maybe acting boring. It's like, all right, yeah, maybe lose yourself a little bit. You just pick up drinking, gain 30 pounds.
We are so bored as a baseline. If you bore us even more, we're going to cut you real quick. Like, you'll be out of here in no time.
When you say bored as a baseline, what do you mean by that?
So I get bored basically just existing. So I don't necessarily feel boredom in the way a child would, but I feel this like sense of restlessness or agitation when I'm not actively a part of something that's going to bring me success or bring me fun. So that's when I start.
Doesn't that feel more like an ADHD, like, kind of energetic? That doesn't really feel like a sociopathy thing. That feels more just like a restlessness of constantly needing to be stimulated.
Spending wild amounts of money, going on trips I never planned earlier, just forgetting medications and deciding to stop taking them because it's inconvenient going to a pharmacy. That boredom really gets in your bones, and then you just have to do something about it. So it's already so bad. When you exacerbate it, of course we're going to get rid of you. Did you want to kill cats as a child?
Why cats? What is that like a thing? Like people have an interest in killing cats if they're like psycho or sociopaths?
No, I don't think I've ever wanted to kill cats. I adore cats. I have 4 Persian cats. So no, I've never wanted to kill cats. And I'm going to be specific there, not cats. There are things I've done in my childhood, but never to cats.
You can't just go to the next question. What, you can't just go to the next question and leave that on a fucking open-ended statement there. Yeah, there's things that I did. Like what? What would we kill? Were we strangling dogs? What were we doing? Were we blowing up frogs? I don't understand.
Do you want to elaborate or no?
You just move into the next question. Thank fuck the interviewer. Aaron, thank you. Thank you for butting in. No.
I was a very violent child.
Oh, gosh. See, that's not elaborating in the way that... See, that's making me more curious.
I didn't carry that out past approximately 12. And let's just say in India, when I visited, we visit every December. It's a lot easier to get around the law. It's a lot easier to get around even violence towards other people, towards animals. But it's never been cats. It never will be cats. I love cats so much.
But, like, what? I like, that's just, like, okay, there's a difference there, though. Like, if you're killing, like, minnows or, like, fish, I feel like that's, like, not fucked compared to, like, okay, you drowned a dog or something like that.
What emotions do you have?
Like, the level of consciousness of the creature. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody was, like, when I was a kid, I used to kill frogs, I'd be like, nah, that's bad, but I wouldn't be, like, shocked. But if you were like, when I was 5, I strangled a dog to death, I'd go, whoa. Have you gone to therapy? Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's, like, a level of, like, lasting impact depending on the animal.
And I'm a sociopath. I'm not AI. I'm not a robot. I have all the emotions. I just don't...
Wait, what was the question? Oh, what emotions do you have?
And I'm a sociopath. I'm not AI. I'm not a robot. I have all the emotions. I just don't experience empathy, guilt, or remorse. I think the strongest emotions I feel are rage, contempt. Contempt is probably the strongest feeling I have. Disgust. Like, people could do the mildest thing and it will trigger disgust. Like, most of my actions are very controlled. They're very precise and planned out. But sometimes I do have a rage attack, and I worry that one day it might go too far.
What does a rage attack look like?
So I've been told that it looks like the soul has left my body. My eyes look a lot darker. I have previously attempted to hurt someone with a knife. I've pushed people down flights of stairs. And the rage attack is kind of like just irrational. Like, you can't talk me out of it. Like, I need the time to calm down, because if anyone is getting in the way of that, they're gonna be a casualty, unfortunately.
Do you feel
Bro just used the term casualty.
joy and happiness?
Yes, I do. I do feel joy. I feel happiness. I feel happy for others if they are part of that call, because I see that as myself succeeding. I also do experience jealousy, and entitlement to an extent. So it's kind of like this baseline of...
I don't think that's just a sign from sociopaths, though. I think it's very common in friend groups for people to feel jealous of other friends' success, when you got to realize, like, you got to prop up your boys, you know what I mean? Like, witnessing your friends succeed, you should always be happy, regardless of whether you could still... I don't think it's bad to witness your friend succeed and go, damn, I wish I had that. But that shouldn't take away from the level of happiness that you have for a friend. Does that make sense? Where it's like, say your friend wins the lottery. You could go, I wish I won the lottery. But you shouldn't be mad or, upset that your friend won and not you. You could be like, damn, I wish I won. But you shouldn't be like, oh, okay, fuck you. Like, pissed off at them for their success.
And then...
Okay, not success. Winning the lottery isn't success. More so like luck, I guess.
Anyone can do something like that I find offensive and it will trigger contempt, and then that'll mean they're out of my life. I know a child with this. What advice can you give me in terms of care? Well, firstly, no child has antisocial personality disorder. All they can have is callous unemotional traits and conduct disorder, which I had. If you have a kid who is showing the kind of callous emotional traits that you would see in a sociopath, it's very important to take that child to the right sort of therapy early. Because even when I was 21, which is when I got diagnosed, my psychiatrist, he's a forensic psychiatrist, he mainly works with prisoners, he wasn't quick to give me my label because he thought, look, you're 21.
Wait. Side note. Have you ever watched, she's saying she can feel sadness and happiness. But she doesn't feel empathy. So when she is like watching a movie, like a sad movie, is there never like a moment where she would cry? For example, Rocket. This is maybe a bad example, but this is one of the most recent films where I fully cried that I can spoil because it's been a while. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Rocket's friends, if you remember. The bunny, the walrus, they were murdered. And then in the movie he goes, it's like that, like a really exaggerated cry. I cried, right? So would she not get upset there? Or like in The Long Walk, I'm not going to spoil it because it's a great movie and I want you to go watch it. In the ending of The Long Walk, I cried. It wasn't affecting me. No way you cried to that shit. That was sad. Sociopath. No. I'm kidding. That was sad as fuck. What are you talking about? You're telling me the scene where the little bunny is like, and we're getting out, right, Rocket? Boom! He walks in and they're just dead. Like all of his friends are dead. Like that was sad as shit. I cried in theater. That was so sad. I cried the most watching The Long Walk recently. What are other really sad films that I've cried? I used to not cry in movies, not because I didn't want to, but because I thought it was weak to. Now, I love a sad movie. I have to be in the mood for a sad film, but like, I love going to like see a sad movie. I'll cry in public. I don't care. If I'm watching like a sad fucking film, and I'm in a movie theater, I don't give a shit. I'll be like, it's usually never that, though. It'll just be like a silent tears running down my eye type shit. Cars 1 and 2? Cars 1 and 2? What fucking scene in Cars 1 made you cry? What scene? Mater's death. Mater didn't die.
Eventually, he just realized that it was immutable. In me, it was completely immutable. There was nothing that they could do to change that. All he could do was show me how bad the prisons were in order for me to not commit strong acts of violence. But yeah, no children can have this, and no child is just a monster from childhood. Like no child is like that. Like even when I was 3, I mean, my mum used to call me a monster, which I thought was like quite despicable to say to a 3-year-old. But it is what it is.
And you mentioned therapy. What is the purpose of that therapy? What's the kind of end goal?
Therapy I don't think it was effective in, let's say, curing the sociopathy or psychopathy.
No, I think it would be more so teaching her, like, hey, we know you have this condition. This is the ways that you're going to have to work around it to live a normal life.
It wasn't like that. It was more just managing the symptoms rather than treating them. Because the thing is with therapy, it can make you worse because it teaches you how to manipulate more effectively and which language to use to extract the most you can out of other people and still sound decent and humane while you're doing it. So I don't think therapy is necessarily effective, but it is.
Bro, I will notice the slow blinking. There's no way that's a true trait, though, of, like, every sociopath. But she blinks so slow. Like, watch her blink.
Necessarily effective, but it is nice to have someone who you can vent to who won't judge you, which
Like,
is fun. Do sociopaths thrive in leadership positions? Yes, we do. I did exceptionally well in leadership positions, in politics, in finance. It's just...
yeah, aren't, like, CEOs of companies, like, way higher percentages of sociopaths and psychopaths than, like, any other fucking position? Like, being the head of a company, largely, you have a higher chance of being somebody that is a sociopath.
It's exactly what we were born to do. Like, we are born to rule, I believe, because we are not encumbered by, like, the ills of society, the society.
I would not say sociopaths are born to rule. I think that they're born to be put in positions where hard decisions need to be made and they have to be callous about it, but not a full leading position. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think you should have a leader that feels no remorse or guilt at the top, but I think that who that guy employs to do other segmented things, you could have a sociopath lead and do very well. But you don't want the guy making the decisions and calling the shots to be a sociopath.
We can make the decisions that would cripple empaths. Like, we are able to do things that will create profits no matter whose neck we have to step on. And that's really what you need in these positions. And I think also it's a constructive way to use what our nature gave us.
Do you think a lot of world leaders are sociopaths or psychopaths?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I don't necessarily want to get sued, but let me just say a lot of world leaders are very sociopathic, if not full-blown antisocial personality disorder. What stops you from acting out when someone like Bundy didn't? So Bundy had the privilege of existing in the 1970s when surveillance wasn't a thing, and we didn't have Uber, we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have Meta, like, tracking our every movement.
What does it mean Bundy didn't? Bundy did. What stops you acting out when somebody like Bundy didn't? Does that mean didn't stop acting out? Because Ted Bundy murdered 1 million people. Yeah, very weird that she's a privilege. I think she's saying that he's not some super genius, right? As a serial killer, he was privileged to be in a time that enabled him to do the things that he did without immediately getting caught. Like, somebody like Ted Bundy today would have been, found the week after he killed somebody.
Meta, like, tracking our every movement. When the police didn't understand how DNA worked, that was something that Bundy was very, very privileged to have. Unfortunately, now one thing is I don't have the size advantage. Like, I would have to do something very stealthy if I'm trying to get rid of somebody, whereas a man can use physical strength to overpower somebody. Which I think Bundy he had the freedom to do it. He had the motive to do it. That was the only thing that really gave him joy. Whereas I can get joy out of other domains, even if it means, like, toning down my sadism. I can still get joy from other things that I do, which I think the ones who are very violent and it's tied to their sexuality, it's kind of like they go to a certain level and they just can't come back. And so I always try to understand where that threshold is for me, and understand that if I go past that, I'm going to throw my entire life away. And I can throw minor things away. Like, I can throw away a year or, like, 2. But if I commit an act of brutality, there's, like, a 99% chance I will get caught because I'd be sloppy. Like, Bundy himself was also sloppy, but a lot of them weren't. There were a lot of...
Bro, Bundy was the sloppiest serial killer of all time. That motherfucker got caught and ran away, like, 5 times.
them were clean about what they did. And even if they weren't, like, no one was going to catch them. Whereas for me, I'd get caught real quick. So I don't have that luxury. I don't have the strength luxury, and I don't have the ability to spend a long time incarcerated. And I understand where my threshold is. And
Wow, she's talking about this in a very matter-of-fact way. Like, not that she's basically saying that she doesn't kill people. The way that I'm feeling like this is like she's saying she doesn't kill people not because she doesn't want to, but because it doesn't make sense to.
Whereas for me, I'd get caught real quick. So I don't have that luxury. I don't have the strength luxury, and I don't have the ability to spend a long time incarcerated. And I understand where my threshold is, and clearly a lot of these people didn't, especially Bundy.
Do you think what he...
Brady said, I feel like she needs to be institutionalized. I don't know. I feel like she is I think she knows that she has these weird, like, I guess, urges, but she's, like, not acting on them is the way that it's, like, being portrayed. Like, she has these rage moments where she probably has maybe felt like she wants to kill somebody, but didn't.
he did was wrong?
Yes, I do think what he did was wrong. I do think he deserved the death penalty, and I do think he could have never been rehabilitated. I believe that he would have tried to escape again. Ted...
Yeah, I think I've had the take with prisons that I think the U.S. focuses too much on punishment rather than rehabilitation, but I think there is a type of criminal such as, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy, where they are too far gone. They have crossed over the horizon and they'll never return, right? Like, there's a level of being crazy where you can't come back.
If sociopaths ran the world, what would get better? Our transport systems, they'd be a lot faster. We would get to where we need to be because we have to backstab some people on time. We would be...
I feel like that's just like a random throw out guess. I think in certain countries, sure, but it's more so like what are the wills and aspirations of the individual that's in power, right? If the sociopath in power doesn't give a fuck about public transportation, they're not going to implement public transportation. Like that, I feel like that's just not true.
Excellent surgeons, so hospitals would be of the highest quality if you could afford to go, because we just want to have material gain. We want to have material gain, we want to have social dominance, and we want to live in a world that worships the kind of people that we are. So we would create the most efficient but heartless city and country.
I could get under the idea that, like, a sociopath isn't necessarily just, like, it is for financial gain, but a sociopath isn't necessarily going to fully lean into just, like, a hardcore unmonitored monopoly-esque capitalist society, because that would be like a short-term game, long-term downfall. So, like, even though they wouldn't care about the people at the bottom, they would realize that they have to for the purpose of bettering themselves. Like, even if you are a sociopath and you're in power and you don't care about poor people, you have to care about poor people, because if the poor people get so bad that they can't work and survive, then your entire economy collapses, because people at the top need people at the bottom.
Do you think humanity would survive if everyone was a sociopath?
Yes, I think it would be a very productive society. It would be...
Well, then it would just be the norm.
Very streamlined. We would probably have more deaths, more murders, more violent crime, but our whole budget, it would run pretty well, because we have the control, we have the desire to take as much of that profit as we can. So with everybody trying to take it...
I'm going to full disagree, because if you would have to restructure the entire government to basically have like an individual, like we would have to run like an oligarchy society, because if you had sociopaths in every single part of parliament or office, rather, like if you had the entire House, the entire Senate, all of Congress is a sociopath, they're all going to be manipulating in a way that they're trying to get self-gain, which kind of actually seems like what's happening right now. But,
do you wish you were different? No, I like my life. I like who I am. I like how I can do things that other people would be scared to do. I like that I take risks. I like that I'm able to find connection with people in a way that they find meaningful. I'm glad that I don't have to worry about rejection, anxiety, abandonment. I just don't care. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to be real. I don't give a fuck about losing people. If someone is offended by something that I do, all right, piss off. Sayonara. I don't care. If someone thinks that...
Chat, for all the people that saying she's mental, she's stoned, she's not mental, she's not stoned. She's a diagnosed sociopath. This is the entire point of the video. What are we doing? What are we saying? She's insane. What is she talking about? that's the point of the video is she is a diagnosed sociopath. She does not feel empathy for other people.
That I need them to live, I will cut you off. Like, I managed to cut off siblings who I lived in the same room, same house with. Like, literally, I didn't talk to my brother for about 2 years, and we lived in the same house. So it's kind of it's very freeing, and I appreciate that. I appreciate not being hung up on guilt and feeling shitty about situations I can't change. I only think of the present. I don't think about the past. I don't think about the future. I live life properly. Have you
I do understand the freeing aspect of that sense. Like, she doesn't hold any regret. Like, the regret wouldn't consume her, which is good and bad, depending on what it's about.
I've been in love. I've been in love twice. I'm in love now. I think for me, love is an act. It's not a feeling. I will appreciate someone's value in my life, and I will decide to love them. I will do whatever's in their best interest because I see them as an extension of myself, and I would never want myself to be harmed. So if anyone with me is,
Bro, she reminds me so much of that artist from Dexter. What is that woman? What is that woman's name? From, like, season 2, Lila.
Attacked or bullied
From
or
Dexter.
treated poorly by anybody, I will be there no matter what. And yes, I would risk prison for them, because if someone's going to harm them, then I would rather neutralize that and then go to prison than allow that torment to continue. So in terms of romantic love, I think my loyalty is second to none. And if I've decided to be in a relationship with you, I will put you above all else. And I will every single day love you as an action. And I don't just do flowery words. Like, I will go out and do the exact things that make that person happy. And I think it's a more effective way to love than empaths.
Can two sociopaths be in a relationship?
Yes, two sociopaths actually could be in a relationship, but they would be in a power struggle constantly and, like, trying to outplay each other. Or they could become notorious.
I just couldn't get behind the idea that you would have the worry of being with a sociopath that could theoretically just discard you at any moment and not care. Like, you could be in a loving relationship with a sociopath, knowing they're a sociopath, and then they could, like, I'm not saying they would do this, right? Because she values the idea of a relationship and values loyalty and values love. But, like, theoretically, you could have somebody that's a sociopath flat out cheat on you, not feel bad about it at all, and then just leave you.
How manipulative are you? I am the most manipulative person you will ever meet. Like, I am so good at it. I don't mean to boast, but, like, my manipulations are so fantastic. And I can lie better than I would say anybody. I would pass a lie detector test so easily.
Wow.
The lies are what makes the sociopath. The lies are the only things keeping us going. Okay, we are so good at lying. That's like our number one, like, hobby, our number one skill. Lying is like, it's like breathing oxygen, because it's not a lie if you believe it.
Have you lied during this interview?
No, unfortunately, I have been honest. As goes with the territory, I was informed that
Well, this would be a pointless interview if she lied during it, because then we wouldn't actually be understanding what it's like to be a sociopath. So thankfully, or hopefully, she didn't lie, because then this was an entirely meaningless video. The eyes are pretty soulless. She matches her own description perfectly. Honestly, yeah, dude. She had very, like, cat-like eyes. I don't have the luxury of killing somebody without getting caught. Phew. Description that she doesn't have the luxury to harm somebody's crazy. All right. I gotta piss real quick.